sparked yet another conversation about YouTube, no, Twitch and copyright. I saw a really good meme of someone. It's just like YouTubers be like, hey, you knew when it comes to Dmca. So there was a lot of questions that popped up in my Twitter feed. I did a lot of discussions with other streamers, so I thought I would try to break it down a bit. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Can actually write that down. Hashtag not legal advice. But I have worked in the game industry. I have worked with a lot of creative industries. I know a lot of musicians and sound effects guys. I've also done a lot of research on this in my free time. So I feel I have an okay grasp on the copyright system and the DMCA strikes and alike. So just to address one of the first ones that was asked the most, is in-game music dangerous? Will I get copyright strike from in-game music? And the question or the answer is no. In-game music is incorporated into the game and is considered around the copyright of the game and not the music itself, which makes it okay to stream, and we'll get back to why that is fine. But if you play game music outside of the game, that's a no-no. That's copyrighted. Usually. Especially in AAA games, yes, some indie games might have some different policies on this. So the issue we're addressing here is that there's a sudden rush of Dmca strikes on old clips. So when we talk about DMCA strikes and the copyright law, we have to first address that this is the American copyright law. DMCA is an American system. It's an American law system. In Europe, we are way worse off. I don't know if you guys remember Article 13, I think it was. There was so much discussion about. In the US, it's way more open for us that are creators, and that is because DMCA is designed to allow us users and people to upload content to platforms and keep the platforms away from being liable for whatever is uploaded. The only requirement is that if there are copyright infringements uploaded to a platform and the platform is notified by the copyright holder that there are someone infringing, this needs to be taken down, and that's the only action that is required. If the copyright or if the platform does not comply, then the platform becomes liable. If not, then that's fine. So platform owners are shielded from copyright suits. Need a system to address copyright infringements. Copyright strikes. And yeah, and this is so this is what we see in, for example, Twitter, or this is what we see on YouTube with their copyright system and their DMCA or copyright strikes and DMCA takedowns, and this is what we see now on Twitch. So first to start off with that, it is not Twitch issuing DMCA strikes. DMCA is the system, and Twitch is simply the platform. So it is not up to Twitch whether or not something is DMCA struck. I've seen a lot of tweets about creators blaming Twitch, and if like Twitch wants to throw a fit They will fight that. This is not about Twitch. Twitch is just a platform, and Twitch has to comply whenever someone comes to them saying, hey, you have copyright infringements on your platform. So they will fix that, a bit more readable text. So how does this then apply to Twitch? The basic answer, how does this apply to Twitch? Basically, no licensed music, art, sound effects, imagery, or video are allowed. If you do not have the right to it, you cannot use it on Twitch. There are basically no hidden rule or hidden workaround that like allows Twitch to be fine when it comes to this. If you do not own the license, you do not have the permission to stream it, show it, use it. This includes music from song requests as an example. So that's what we've seen a lot of here on Twitch, is that people use copyrighted music, they use song requests, they just play it as if it is normal. Some use even donations to use and bits to get song requests. So they start earning money on other people's work without them actually getting anything. And what is wrong with this and what is bad with this is that the artists and the creators is bad about this. Creators are not paid for their work. Exposure coin is not payment. Having worked in the art industry and the art business for a long time, I know that there is a lot of people that try to pay you with what we call exposure coins. Basically, I have X amount of followers, you will get this much exposure, you will be exposed to this many people and like, and that's not payment. Exposure does not pay the rent, exposure does not pay for food. Also, exposure does not lead to more sales. When you consume music, when you consume movies and TV shows, that does not lead directly to more sales. The users get their fill from others without the creators actually getting anything. This is why it is bad. Another thing is that these are the rules. Regardless of how much you like it or not, the rules are the rules, and it also applies Twitch. But then we have, what about games? Are games not allowed on Twitch anymore? And to this, games are copyrighted in the same way, though games are a different medium than music, TV, film, etc. And this is a whole nother discussion and talk I can have on that, of games being different and being consumed different than we would do music, TV, film. Games are more of an experience rather than something you passively sit and watch or listen to. This has led to streaming and YouTube generating a lot of earned media and increased sales. So for games, streaming and YouTube and video sharing has actually led to more sales and increased media. Earned media is basically advertisement that you do not pay for. So, contrary to the other medias, games actually benefit from this. And even though games are still copyrighted and follow the same rules, developers and publishers have decided that this is something they call approved infringement or acceptable infringement. I can't remember exactly the wording, but they accept that this infringement happens because they gain so much from it. Some games have also updated TOS to allow specifically for streaming, YouTube content creation, etc. So this is why games are allowed when they're in their whole. If you use, but this is also why it's not allowed to use game music by themselves outside, because then they become a music license instead of the license for the whole game itself. Another reason for this is that the whole game in itself wouldn't be the same without the music, without the art, without the sound effects. So that is why everything is incorporated into that license, into that IP, and into that copyright, and thus is considered something different when you play or show the individual elements by themselves. But as many of you know, playing copyrighted music on Twitch has been going on for a long time. Song requests is the norm. Why is it suddenly illegal now? And the thing with this is because many streamers and content creators seems very surprised that suddenly Twitch has banned this, and there is a misconception that Twitch yesterday updated the terms of services around this. Truth is, they did not. They made a new public statement basically reinforcing the old rules and the old systems, basically saying, by the way guys, copyright is still a thing on Twitch. You are not allowed to use other contents without their specific approval or license. And the basic answer to why this has not been addressed before: Twitch is too small for big companies to notice and care about. More costly going after small streamers rather than compared to costs. Oh yeah, compared to revenue loss. So it's more cost effective going after small streamers than what they actually lose from you infringing on their copyright. At the same time, Twitch is in the big scale of the world a very small platform. We streamers, we like to think about Twitch as this enormous thing, but compared to YouTube, Twitch is a niche. And that's also why if you look around on YouTube, you will find other people re-uploading songs that has not been struck or copyright struck. That is because they're still too small for anyone to have noticed them. There's only a matter of time before a ripped Justin Bieber song will be thrown on top of lists because it gains so much traction. It's noticed, it's stricken, and we're back to normal. What can we do now though? No music and no art. And actually, to go a bit back to that art perspective, using others' IP art, for example, if you use a lot of Nintendo stuff, you use a lot of I don't know, say the same Borderlands characters and stuff around on your screen, and you do not have the license to use those elements, that is also copyright infringement. Copyright infringement is not only limited to music, it is also limited to the art that is used. So there, be careful ripping off. The same also goes for ripping others' emotes, ripping others' stingers, stealing others' art for yourself. So one way to avoid all of this, pay for the content through licenses, Fiverr, direct payment, etc. If you buy something, if you buy, for example, a pack of sub badges from me that I make for you, you own that. I made it, but you own the rights because you paid for it. You hired me to make it and you own it. So if you paid for something through Fiverr, I would recommend using something where you get a receipt so you can prove the purchase and the transaction done. That's fine. Pay for licenses if you can. That is very hard when it comes to like big record companies and big music. Delete old VODs and clips containing copyrighted content you do not own. Be proactive, guys. Do not wait for the first copyright strike. And finally, use copyright free or Creative Commons licensed content. There are tons of artists and musicians that give away their music and their content free for you to use. They will state it, they will list it, they will say that, you know, I'll use this for wherever because I am okay with it. To give a little shout out and to give a big example, Streambits by Harry Seller is a great resource that contains, this is what we've been listening to now. It's okay for YouTube, it's okay for Twitch. He has already said it and notified those platforms that this is music that is copyright free, free to use. I can also go a bit into how does Dmca work on Twitch. Short version is someone flags / reports VODs stream clip claiming someone uses their content. Channel is suspended for 24 hours pending manual review. Channel receives 1 strike. And I think this is regardless of claim legitimacy. 3 strikes equals permaban. And contrary to popular beliefs, there is only one way to receive a permaban on Twitch, and that is 3 copyright strikes. A lot of streamers have been indefinitely banned, but they have a chance to come back after 3, 4, 5 years. The only way to get permanently banned from Twitch is getting the 3 strikes, which is why also this is so scary for a lot of streamers. And finally, comparing YouTube to Twitch. YouTube has a system to refute / answer a copyright claim. Company issuing claim now has to take this into court if they choose. So what you can do on YouTube is that someone claims your video, you make a counterclaim saying that, no, you know what, this is actually this is not infringing on any copyright law, and then the company is more or less forced to take the first step and say, you know what, yes, it actually is, and we will take you to court on that. Strikes disappear after a period on YouTube. I think this is after 90 days. I'm not sure, but after a while your strike disappears on YouTube. So you can receive strikes and they will be taken back. Twitch has no system to respond on claims. Strikes seems to be given regardless. Strikes are permanent, never disappears. So this is just short into the differences between how Twitch and YouTube handles this. So I hope you guys, again, I have to specify that this is not legal advice. I am not a lawyer. There are some great resources out there if you want to learn more by yourself. Devin Nash has done a ton of great talks about this. Harry Seller has also mentioned this and possible solutions to avoid this. And Legal on YouTube also has gone into depths in what laws are, how they apply, and how you can avoid being stricken or all of that. Thank you, chat. Respecting, you should only create emotes for which you have all necessary rights. So Twitch emotes and badges fall under the same copyright guidelines.